Ladies, gentlemen, and cool kids, Andy here. I coach men and women on living lives of abundance and joy. If we can all do it, you sure as hell can too. I did an interview with one of my past coaching clients recently, and he said something that really stood out to me. He said, if you are a man who intentionally plays games with women, you become the man that women play games with in return. And I want to talk a little bit about honesty, about the concept of game or trying to get something in dating or trying to put on a certain facade or a mask and running game and all of that instead of just telling the truth and saying, this is what I want. I like you. Do you like me back? Do you want to go on a date? Do you want the same thing that I want? You know, we talk about autistic honesty on this channel and just telling the truth, but a lot of people, maybe most people in dating, are a little bit afraid to do that. And they think that they need to play games or they need to hide their true intentions or what if I tell the truth and people reject me? But we're here for that beautiful, juicy authenticity. And why? Because like attracts like. The universe is a mirror. If you will go around being honest, authentic, and truthful, you'll meet the other people who are capable of being honest, authentic, and truthful. The people that want the same thing that you want. But if you go around playing games, the people who are honest, who are authentic, and who are real, they can't be bothered playing that bullshit. They'll see you as a manipulator or they'll just see you as a time waster. And not that you're necessarily those things, but they don't have time for bullshit. I'm one of those people. A lot of you are some of those people where if someone plays games with us, like if I meet a woman that's playing games and she can't be honest, she can't just tell me what she wants, I give her a straight up question, an autistically honest question, and she can't fucking answer it because she's too busy trying to say the perfect smooth answer or something. I don't have time for that. I'm going to leave. I'm going to immediately walk away and say, hey, that's okay. I like the people that can be honest and real and aren't here to waste my fucking time. And a lot of you who are out there who are maybe struggling with dating, there's some beautiful room for improvement here. There's an opportunity to be a little bit more honest, a little bit more vulnerable, to just tell the truth and let go of some of those fucking games, which are leading to people playing games with you. Because if you go around playing games, other people go, okay, well, this person isn't being completely honest and upfront. They're holding back a little bit or they're putting on some sort of mask. I can tell that they're not being authentic. We're actually pretty decent at telling when someone's not being fully authentic. I guess I should be inauthentic with him or her. I guess I should play games with you because you're playing games with me first. And so you attract the other people that also want to play games. Or you might say the people that are a little bit afraid to be authentic and honest and open because, yeah, dating can be a little scary. And so a lot of people are afraid to be really open and honest. But if you speed run your authenticity, if you run towards being completely raw and real, you'll bring in the other people who want the same thing as you. And this applies to dishonesty too. A lot of people, maybe they don't mean to, maybe they do, but in dating, a lot of people are dishonest or they will lie by omission. They will hide things. Like they won't tell someone that, hey, I just want this to be casual. And the other person will assume, I guess we're building a relationship. And then when it comes time to actually have that conversation, the person will sort of play it off and be like, oh, no, babe, I just want something casual. Or they'll straight up lie. One of my friends or a friend of a friend has been seeing this guy for a while, and she's someone that has a lot of distrust in relationships, and so this certainly isn't helping. But she asked him multiple times, hey, are you seeing other people? If you are, just tell me. And he's like, no, babe, it's just you. It's all you. Like, I want to build something with you, blah, blah, blah. I would never see anyone else. I just want monogamy. Like, literally straight up lied to her. And she was like, okay, thank you for being honest with me. Okay, great. That's what I want too. And they've been dating each other for a while, sleeping with each other for a while. And then she was talking to one of her friends. This is like something out of a fucking TV show. She's talking to one of her friends, one of her coworkers, and she's like, oh, I've been dating this guy who's a pilot, blah, blah, blah. He does this. And she's like, oh, wow, that's crazy. I've been dating a guy who's a pilot too. And she's like, oh, wow, tell me about him. And they start talking about each other, and they talk for like 10 minutes before they started realizing, wait, a lot of these details of the guys that we're dating are overlapping. And then they sit there and they go, wait, what's your guy's name? And she says his name, and she's like, oh, no. Did your guy tell you that he's only seeing you? And she's like, yeah, I told him I only want a relationship, and he fucking told me he's only sleeping with me. And so again, this seems like something out of a TV show. When I heard this story, I was like, wait, is that real? Like, did this really happen? And she was like, yes. Yeah. Yeah, it really fucking happened. And so if you go around being completely dishonest, who do you think that guy's going to end up with? not this friend of a friend of mine, because she ran for the hill. She's like, well, fuck you. I was honest with you. I'm looking for someone who's honest. I'm leaving. I'm getting the fuck out of here. He will be left with other people that are just as dishonest or that don't mind playing the games or like a bit of drama and all of that bullshit. And then he'll wonder, why is my dating life so difficult? Why is it so annoying? Yeah, I get laid and that's fun, but I have all this drama. People blow up. I eventually run into someone who keys my car and writes like, cheat, you fucking cheating piece of shit, on my car. Or people go and tell the other woman, by the way, he's a scumbag. He's sleeping with lots of people and he just didn't tell you. Like, you run into all of this drama and you are the root cause of it. Or like, this guy is the root cause of it because he wasn't honest. He was completely dishonest. I think that's about as dishonest as you could ever be. No, I'm not sleeping with anyone else. I want monogamy with you. I mean, we would call that cheating. There's a word for that. My brain just clicked and I was like, wait, there's a word for this. We call that cheating. But yeah, if you go around being that dishonest, and that's like an extreme example, sure, but it's these little moments of dishonesty, or these little moments of holding back, or maybe we might flip it the other way and say it's these opportunities we have to take a little leap of faith and be a little bit more honest, or take a little leap of faith and be a little bit more vulnerable, maybe open up about some part of us, or you're on a first date, you're nervous, just say that. What would happen if instead of sitting there in your own head going, oh God, I got to do a good job. I hope this person doesn't know that I'm nervous. I hope they can't tell. Oh God, what do I say? How do I be smooth? How do I be perfect? How do I get everything correct? What if you took a big deep breath and you just said, hey, I'll be real with you. I'm a little nervous right now, but I think we're going to have fun. I'm really excited. I can't wait to I'm just glad that we get to hang out. This is cool. And you might find that the other person reciprocates that honesty, that vulnerability, that authenticity. Authenticity. My God, that was a hard word to say. Proof you don't need to be perfect. The other person might reciprocate that authenticity and say, I'm nervous too. And you go, wow, okay. Well, that actually relaxes me a lot. It's not just me in my own head. And the other person says, hey, this relaxes me too. It's not just me in my own head. And then you get to say, do we want to tackle this nervousness together? Are we now two people coming together to work on this nervousness? It's not me in my own head fighting the nervousness or trying to hide it or trying to suppress it. We can now team up. It's you and me on the same team rather than me versus you or you versus me. So honesty and authenticity leads to these beautiful freaking things. And I say all the time, especially for you men, but this applies to you women. If any of you are listening to this right now, which obviously you are, what a beautiful paradox that would be, but you're obviously listening to this right now. You're here on a self-improvement channel where I talk about autistic honesty. I literally use the phrase autistic honesty. So we're going to go above and beyond what most people would do in terms of honesty, in terms of taking action, in terms of taking responsibility for our life and not just sitting there going, I hope I magically get what I want. Fuck that. Whether you're a man listening or a woman listening, we're big on you taking initiative, you doing the things that you want. And so for both genders, for all of you listening, set the tone by your own actions. Start off as much as you can, and this is something that you'll improve at over time, but start off with as much honesty, authenticity, complete fucking openness that you possibly can, and you'll find the other person mirrors that. But don't sit there and say, I'm going to wait for the other person to go first. I'm going to wait for them to be vulnerable and then I'll be vulnerable back. Or I'll wait till they start talking about sex or whatever you want to talk about before I talk about it. Fuck that. You go first. Put in your mind, again, whether you're a man or a woman, if you're a woman on this channel listening to this shit, you are just above and beyond the average person in terms of honesty and taking action. So decide that you will take full action and be the one who's honest first. And for you guys listening, this shit definitely applies to you guys. Take the first step. Be honest first. Say what you want. Make it fucking clear. If that's on a dating app, make it clear this is what I want. If that's with someone that you meet on the street or in a bar or through friends or something, be fucking honest. If you want something casual, say, by the way, I'm looking for something a little bit more casual, and explain what that means. Be autistically honest to the point of autism. Autism can be a fucking beautiful gateway to honesty. Be autistically honest and say, when I say casual, what I mean is we hang out, we're friends, we have obviously sex, and we can meet a couple of times a week if we want to. We get to know each other a little bit, and there's no sort of pressure or expectations. We don't have to be boyfriend, girlfriend. That's roughly what I'm looking for. Would that suit you? Or what are you looking for? Or do you want to negotiate? Do you want to talk about it? Like, what are you looking for? Here's what I'm looking for. Can we meet in the middle and both be happy with that? Like, how can we build something, or how can we have something, whether casual or serious or whatever, where we're both really happy? And if you're looking for something really serious, then fucking say that. This is what I'm looking for. I want a relationship. I want monogamy. If you don't want that, fucking beautiful. Nothing but love for you. Namaste. That's great that you know what you want. And then we can go separate ways if we don't want the same thing, and that would be wonderful. So you can be completely upfront and honest with this shit. You can be like this in business. You can be like this with friends, with family, with everyone. But you go first. Don't sit around expecting the other person to go first, because 9 times out of 10, they won't. Especially if you're here on this channel and we're using phrases like autistic honesty. I'm going to tell you, 99.999% of the population cannot, they're capable of it, but they will not do it first. They're really capable of it. I would say 95% of humans that I've met are capable of honesty and autistic honesty. They just need you to go first. There is 0% chance that they're going to go first because they're scared, they're worried, they're anxious. They live life playing not to lose, and they're trying really hard to not get rejected or not get judged or not have something bad happen. And so it's up to you to go first. And I have found, like I said, when I go first, 95% of the time, the other person can reciprocate. It will take baby steps for them. Like, they'll be terrified. Like, I'll be completely open and honest, and then they'll take one tiny little baby step forward, and I'm like, wow, look at this person being courageous. And sometimes I'll say that. I'll be like, wow, good job opening up. Like, thank you for sharing that with me. That's really cool. Or even just being excited about the thing that the person says makes a huge difference. And so, as an example, one of the things that I will often do with women that I date, or that Imogen and I date together, especially if they're inexperienced, is I will just point out the fact that they're probably nervous right now. Like, I will literally say, hey, how you feeling before the first date? I'll be like, hey, how you feeling? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Like, what are you feeling? And that's me going first and giving them an opportunity to reciprocate. And I will say 90% of the time they say, oh, I'm excited, but I'm a little bit nervous if I'm honest. And then I'll dive into that and be like, thank you for telling me that. Like, good job. I know it can be a little difficult to admit you're nervous, but like, we're going to have fun. I promise, like, Imi and I, or me by myself, we don't have any expectations. We're going to have this day. It's going to be fun. Like, no pressure. You don't need to be perfect. I promise we're not going to judge you. We'll just have a chill time. We'll sit down and talk. And that relaxes them a lot. And then they can be way more open and honest with me. And then when we get to the bedroom, when we go to have sex, because I've set the tone by my honesty, like, I have set a foundation of honesty, they can now open up again if they want to. And they can say, hey, I'm really nervous. And I go, well, that's cool. Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to just make out for a little bit? Do you want to cuddle? Do you want to just try a little bit of BDSM and kink? Or do you want to save that for next time? Like, what would you like to do? And we can just talk about it. There's not this like battle almost, or this fear of like, what if the other person finds out that I don't know what I'm doing, or that I'm nervous, or any of that. You set all of those games aside, and you just have this foundation, or this open door of communication. And everything I just said applies in business too. You guys have no idea, like those of you who've done a coaching call will understand, but you guys have no idea how many people come on a coaching call with me, and like the first thing they say is, I'm really nervous, or I'm really anxious right now, or I'll be honest, like I'm scared. I'm telling myself I have to do a good job. How can they be that honest with me? Because I went first. I'm the one that's the most honest first. This whole fucking channel is me being honest and vulnerable and saying when I'm scared, or saying when I'm nervous. Like, I'll be honest right now, I'm really fucking tired. There you go. That's me being honest. Right now, I'm really tired. There is a part of me that wants to just lay down on that couch over there behind the camera. There you go. That's me being honest and telling you how I'm feeling. You know, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of content creators would be holding that shit back. They'd carefully curate their videos, they'd edit it. They're not going to tell you, like, I'm really tired. Streamers and people like that do, because they tend to be a little bit more honest and authentic and casual. But the vast majority of YouTube, they're not going to fucking tell you that they're tired or they're sad or they're angry or any of that. But I do. And so then people are able to jump on a coaching call with me and be like, I'm nervous. And then I can say, great job opening up. I promise we're just going to have a casual chat. It's cool if you're nervous. There's no pressure for you to do a good job. Like, if I'm honest, I feel a little, not nervous, but I'm a little tired right now. So you're nervous, I'm tired. It's all good. Why don't we just both do the best job that we can? And if it's not perfect, that's all good. And that relaxes like everybody. They're like, okay, thanks. That sounds good. And what would we call that? We'd call that an authentic connection. We'd call that a good, actual, deep fucking connection. whether it's women and dating or men and dating or business or family or whatever, if you're honest and authentic and you build trust, that's how you build a connection. What is a connection? It is trust. How do you build trust? By being vulnerable. That is what trust requires. You cannot trust someone unless they have been vulnerable. Think about what trust is. Like, let's get autistic about the definition of trust here. Why do you trust someone? Because they were vulnerable with you. And so you saw that vulnerability, and instead of taking advantage of it or using them or whatever, you made the decision, or maybe it was a subconscious decision, to say, okay, this person just exposed themselves to me, their vulnerable side to me, and I could have hurt them. I could have rejected them. I could have said something mean or used them or pushed them away or whatever. But I'm going to respect the fact that they just exposed themselves to me. They were vulnerable to me. I now trust them a little bit because they just showed me their vulnerable, or you might say weak side. And it's not weak, but like, that's kind of a word that almost fits here. They showed me their side that was open to attack. Verbal attack, physical attack, rejection, whatever. They showed me that side of themselves that I could have hurt. I might do the same thing back to them now. And then you open up and say, hey, thanks for sharing that with me. All right, here's something from me. And then you're showing your vulnerable side to them. And in your brain, you're probably thinking like, oh my God, please don't judge me for this thing that I'm telling you. Please don't think less of me. Like, that's exactly what I thought when I opened up to all of you about my depression and wrote that big, massive guide and did the video on it. When I did the 2-part series on how I went to prison when I was 19, I was being fucking vulnerable. I literally said that at the start of the video. I literally said, I'm really scared that you guys and girls are going to judge me, but I'm big on honesty on this channel and vulnerability, and so fuck it, I'm just going to do this. Literally in my head as I was recording those videos and for the weeks afterwards, all I was thinking was, oh God, please don't hurt me. Please don't reject me. Please don't be mean to me. Please just be nice to me. And you all were. And I really love you for all of that. I appreciate you. And if you hadn't been nice, if some people hadn't been nice, that would have been okay too, because that would have taught me some stoicism, wouldn't it? But that was me being vulnerable. And so trust is built on vulnerability. We are literally exposing ourselves and saying, please don't hurt me. Or if you do hurt me, please, universe, please make it so that I'm still okay after I get rejected or hurt or yelled at or abused or whatever. Please let things be okay. And then when things are okay, now you start to build up a little bit of trust. It's like you're building up confidence in the other person, or confidence in yourself, or confidence in the greater universe or the world or whatever, or people in general. That's what trust is. Trust is literally built on you being vulnerable and open. You have to be vulnerable and open. Otherwise, you cannot have trust, and you cannot build a deeper connection without trust. You will just have a surface level connection. And for some of you, that's all you're looking for. Great. But I don't even believe that. You're not looking for that. I've never met anyone who's like, I never want to connect with other people. I just want surface level connections. Anyone who says that is afraid of being hurt. But secretly, they want a deeper connection. And most people are honest enough with themselves to admit, yeah, I want something a little bit deeper. I want to be able to trust people. I'm just scared that I can't. And so if you want those real, deep, beautiful connections, you're going to have to be fucking honest. And a lot of people are afraid to be honest, or like, obviously people are afraid to be honest, but a lot of people are maybe using other means to get what they want without being honest. So you might call that manipulation. You might call that game. You might call that using people. You might call that lying, whatever you want to call it. But when we manipulate, we get short-term wins, but long-term losses. Like, if you go around manipulating people and you're very dishonest and you just say whatever you need to say to get in someone's pants, like the friend of a friend example I said before, where she's sleeping with this guy, she thinks they're in a fucking relationship, and he's just saying whatever he needs to say to keep getting that pussy. And then he's doing that to other women too. And so in his mind, he's like, I'm winning, motherfuckers. I'm getting pussy. And it's like, what happens when they find out? First of all, they're just going to leave you, or they're going to blow up, or they're going to abuse you. And that's fun for a little while for some people. They're like, ha ha ha, look at these crazy bitches. Ha ha ha, look at them yelling at me. Look at these bitches. Until it's no longer fun. At some point, it's not novel anymore. It becomes boring. It becomes annoying. It becomes frustrating. And when you meet the right person, or you might say the wrong person, if you piss off the wrong person, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. You know, that's when you wake up and there's a fucking message keyed in your car, cheating fucking asshole, like, and you're like, God damn it, okay, this isn't fun. Stupid bitch like keyed my car because you lied to everyone. And sooner or later, you're going to run into the person who wants revenge. Lots of people think in terms of revenge. If you go around being a manipulator, eventually it catches up with you. We have words for that, like karma and all of that. And if you don't believe in the concept of karma, believe in the concept of fucking revenge. Piss enough people off, eventually you get punched in the face. You get your car keyed. Something happens. It catches up. You don't get off scot-free forever. And if nothing else, you're missing out on that beautiful authenticity. How can you ever build a real, deep, beautiful connection with someone if you know I'm lying to this person? And do you really want to have sex with people that you're lying to? It's like you're having sex with people that you don't respect. And then at some point you're like, wait, why am I sticking my penis in people I don't respect? Because you can't respect someone that you're lying to and that's believing your lies or that doesn't realize that you've been lying. You don't respect that person. And then at some point, what does that say about you? You look in the mirror and you're like, why am I sticking my penis in people I don't respect? Can't I put my penis in someone I do respect? Like, what does this say about me? How can I respect myself if this penis, if part of me, if me is going inside people I don't respect? Why am I fucking people I don't respect? That's weird. Why am I doing that? And I'm speaking from experience here. I went through this whole thing. I wasn't flat out lying, but I was definitely playing game. I believed all the pickup artist shit and all the red pill shit. And I was playing all that fucking game and, you know, using women and manipulating women and all of that bullshit. And at some point I asked myself, what is this for? I don't respect these women. Nothing against them. They haven't done anything. But like, I'm clearly not showing them respect by manipulating, by hiding things, by just saying whatever I need to say. And I would rationalize it in my own head and be like, well, I'm not flat out lying to them. And if any of them ask me if I'm seeing other women, then I'll tell them the truth. And I did. Whenever women would ask me, I would tell them the truth. But like, after I'd been sleeping with them for like 8 weeks, and they'd be like, you're not seeing other girls, are you? And I'd be like, oh, actually, yes, I am. And they'd be like, what? How many girls? And I'd be like, well, okay, I'm seeing 2 other girls. And they'd go, oh, well, thank you for telling me, I guess. And I'd be like, okay, sure. And then they just wouldn't see me again. Or they'd see me for a couple more weeks and then just say, hey, I think I want something monogamous. And so that wasn't straight up lying, but it was lying by deception. I was hiding something that is a deal breaker to a lot of people. A lot of people don't want to fuck someone who's fucking other people. Like, they just don't. Some people don't care. Some people like that. Some people prefer that. I'm one of the people who just doesn't care. Like, if people I'm seeing want to sleep with other people, great. You know, wear condoms or use contraception. Or if you don't, just whatever, I'm going to be using condoms anyway with you if you're sleeping with other people, so it's all good. But like, I'm one of the people that doesn't care, but some people do care. They really deeply care. And I was hiding something that was valuable information to other people. I was lying to them, essentially. And that didn't feel good. At some point, it all caught up with me. And I was like, why am I doing this? Like, why don't I just tell them before we go on a first date, by the way, I'm going to see other people. And when I started doing that, some people said, hey, thanks for letting me know. That isn't what I'm looking for. But lots of women, especially younger women in a Western country, were just like, cool, thank you for letting me know. I really appreciate that. I'm probably not going to see multiple people. I'm just going to see you if we end up having sex and seeing each other. That's what I like to do. But you can see anyone you want to, go for it. Or some of them would say, hey, thank you for having this conversation with me. I wasn't sure if I should tell you, but like, I'm actually seeing another guy and it's just casual and I'm happy. He's happy for me to see you and see other people. Like, are you fine with that? And I'm like, yeah, cheers. Thank you for telling me. Now we can talk about this. And so again, that's you going first and opening that door to honest communication. But if you don't go first, then you might never fucking find out. Something else to think about is playing all these games. You know, guys on the internet always talking about like game. You got to run sit game. It's like game is fucking tiring. It's exhausting. At some point, it gets fucking exhausting to keep a goddamn mask up and not be your true authentic self. I sat down with a guy for a coaching call a couple of days ago, like 2 days ago. And one of the things he said is he was paying some other coach, and he eventually stopped the coaching with that coach because he said it was exhausting what he was getting me to do. He was getting me to put on this like fake persona of this like James Bond, smooth game, charming motherfucker. And that's just not me. Like, I want to work on my conversation skills. I want to be a bit smoother and all of that. But this guy was telling me like game stuff and I have to be perfect with this. And it was exhausting. It was really tiring. And it felt like I was constructing this persona that wasn't me. It was like I was building someone else's life, and that guy gets to have sex, but not me. And sure, it's my penis that's entering her vagina. It's my mouth that's opening and saying the words, but it's not really me. And any women that sleep with me or date me, they're just going to be falling in love with someone that isn't me. And what is the point of that? It's like some other guy. I'm living vicariously through some caricature, some construction. And so if you are honest, you get to be free. It's so relaxing to just be you. And yes, improve yourself. Yes, work on your conversation. Yes, improve your mindset and your self-love. Yes, improve your looks and all of that. Like, be the best you that you can be. This is not me saying, just be you. And you sit there on the couch eating Doritos, morbidly obese, not leaving the house. You don't shave and you don't like trim your beard and you smell. Yeah, don't be that version of you. Be the best version of you that you can be and just work on that a little bit each day. But go out there and be fucking you. Don't be someone else. People want to have sex with you. People would fall in love with you as you improve yourself and put yourself out there and talk to more people. And that's just so much more freeing. Something else to think, and I'm going to say this in a clumsy sort of way maybe, and maybe we can rephrase this, or I can rephrase this, but like, I'll just say it in the clumsy way. Healthy women don't play games. And the word healthy is a very loaded term. Maybe it comes across as a very judgmental term. So I'm trying to think of a better way to say it. But like, I think you guys and girls understand what I'm saying here. So maybe we'll just keep the judgmental way of phrasing it. Healthy guys and healthy women, healthy men and healthy women don't play games, and they avoid anyone who's playing games. Maybe I'd say it like this. People who have a great sense of self-love or self-esteem, yeah, people with a healthy self-esteem avoid people that play games. They do. Like, there's no way around that. I'm phrasing it in a clumsy way. I hope this doesn't come across as me judging people who would put up with games and put up with abuse and put up with all of that. But I think all of us know that on some core level, it's like someone who has so healthy self-esteem and maybe doesn't have daddy issues or mummy issues or whatever, they're going to run from game players. They're going to run from fuckboys. And when I say fuckboys, I mean people who lie to get sex, like guys who lie to get sex. You're not a fuckboy just because you go and have a lot of sex if you do it in an honest, ethical way. But fuckboys are like this friend of a friend that I'm talking about who said, no, it's just you. I'm not sleeping with anyone else. And he's telling that to all the girls that he's sleeping with. We would call that a fuckboy. And a lot of people say, I want quality women, or I want a quality guy. Are you being a quality woman, or are you being a quality guy? Like, you go first. If you want to find people that will be honest with you, be honest and vulnerable with other people. And yes, sometimes that might mean that you're hurt, but that's okay. You're a human being. Welcome to Earth. You're probably going to get hurt at times. It builds your stoicism. You can see being hurt or being rejected or being used as a beautiful learning experience. So many people are so fucking terrified of being used, and they're like on the lookout permanently for scams or for people that are going to use them. And they're like, I got to remain vigilant. I got to have my binoculars finding the next person who's going to hurt me. It's like, why? You're operating under a default assumption that being hurt is bad. What if being hurt teaches you some resilience? What if it makes you stronger? What if it is good for you? And I'm not saying run out there and get hurt as much as you possibly can, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the entire world. It would toughen you up. You know, it sounds like a boomer thing to say, but in this day and age, I feel like a lot of us we feel that temptation to be a delicate little snowflake and go, I got to avoid suffering at all costs. I got to avoid pain. I should never get hurt. I can never get scammed. Something terrible will happen if I get rejected. And it's like, the worst that happens is you toughen up. You might feel some emotions, but that's okay. You're a human being. We feel emotions. You'll get through it. You're tough. You'll be okay. And so if you want to find those quality people, or the people with some decent self-esteem, the people that aren't there to play games, the people that want your life to be better and you want their life to be better, be that person. You go first. If you want quality people, be a quality person. And you might say, how do I do that? My God, I have like 10,000 videos on my channel. How to improve your mindset, how to improve your appearance, how to improve your conversation skills, how to love yourself, how to love other people. But you can start with this exercise. Get out a piece of paper or do it on your computer. Write down 50 things that are likable or lovable about you. It might take you a while, it might take you a couple of months. You might be able to do it in a day. It varies depending on people, but get 50 things on there that are lovable about you. That is the definition of self-esteem. Being able to acknowledge in yourself the inherent lovability of you, and then looking at other people and acknowledging and noticing their inherent lovability. My God, does that improve your dating life like a lot, and just your general self-esteem. And then you're building integrity. You're building security. If you really, really, really go out there and try your best to just be integrous, honest, authentic, raw, real, and all of that as much as you can, you won't be perfect with it. You'll be terrified. That's okay. You just take baby steps towards honesty a little each day. It's an ideal that you work towards. You know, honesty is an ideal that it's almost up here as this pinnacle. And you're like, I'm going to take that as my northern star. I'm going to aim towards that and be a little bit more honest each day. Baby steps. I'll be terrified. Sometimes I'll get it wrong and I'll lie and I'll catch myself and I'll go, why did I lie? That's okay. You're a human being. You're trying to do your best, but just aim towards a little bit more honesty. As you do that, you build this beautiful foundation of like integrity where you're like, I know who I am. I can look in the mirror and see a peaceful warrior facing back at me. I can see someone that I trust. Like you literally build self-trust when you're honest. People don't like being dishonest. I know they do it all the time because they're scared and it's a default habit. Fear of rejection makes you lie. But as you're honest, you look into your own eyes in the mirror and you're like, I like that. I like you. I like that thing looking back at me. That's fucking integrity. That's honesty. You lay your head down on the pillow at night and you sleep a lot easier because you're like, I'm pretty happy with the decisions I made today. I didn't flat out lie to people. Or if I did, I forgave myself for it and I tried to do better. I'm happy. I'm glad. I'm glad that I get to be me. And now I'm going to go out there and find the other people who are glad that they get to be them and we can share something beautiful together. That's the definition of quality. But if you go around playing games, you are literally communicating, I am too insecure to tell the truth. I'm not strong enough in myself to just bare my soul and have you all witness it. I am terrified of being found out. I'm terrified that you'll get to know the real me. And so I cover that up with lies, deception, manipulation, and game. I cover it up with a mask so that nobody ever has to see the real me. You're just screaming that you're insecure. And one of the most attractive qualities in dating for men and women is being secure in yourself. If you just even slightly like yourself, congratulations, you're standing out from the crowd. If you can get to a point where you love yourself or you have love for yourself, you know, not loving yourself in a narcissistic ego way, but you have love and compassion for yourself and you see yourself as a human being trying to do his or her best, if you get to that point, congratulations, dating becomes pretty fucking easy. If I could just get all of you to love yourself, everything else would fall in place. Like you would go and improve your looks. You would go to the gym. You'd have a strong friendship circle. You'd have a great job or you'd start building that. You'd show up to each date or each conversation with love and joy in your heart and a smile on your face. And people would go, who the fuck is this person? They're enigmatic. I want to be around them. I want to get to know them. I want to be a part of their life because they got a good life going on. You know, honesty is maturity. Lying, manipulation, and games is immaturity. It's something that we do when we're young, when we're children, and then a lot of us just never, maybe most of us never grow out of that. We have an opportunity to, and that's vulnerability, that's honesty, that's authenticity, and I know that's something that all of you are seeking, or you wouldn't be here. Don't know why you'd be watching this channel 30 fucking minutes into this video if you didn't have that little part of you or that big, great, giant part of you that's like, I want to be honest. I want to be authentic. I want that quality, man. I want to meet a woman or a guy that's just going to be real with me. You got to go first. It's got to start with you. Lead by example, whether you're a man or a woman, doesn't matter. If you're watching this channel, take responsibility, take ownership, go be honest, go be authentic, and I promise beautiful things will happen. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best of yourself? These guys didn't wait. They joined my coaching program and gave themselves the life that they've been dreaming of. Taylor had a threesome, tons of sex, learned to be honest with his intimate partners, and fully embraced a more peaceful, happy, and loving mindset. Laz more than doubled his income from $25K to $45K a month, as well as having more sex than he could handle, all while fully embracing honesty and authenticity. Corky learned to love himself instead of always beating himself up. Oh, and he had a threesome, sex with 7 women, and started his own business. Want to do what they've done? Join our coaching program and I and the other coaches will pour our heart and soul into giving you the life that you've dreamed of. No more waiting. Now is the right time. Link in the description below.